Basically, I know what's happening here, though, because I already looked into this for one of our shorts. For anyone who didn't know, DeSantis pulled an Abbott. Greg Abbott from Texas decided to send Governor Adams, the mayor of New York, a bunch of immigrants from his border. Sent him, I think, like 12 buses.
That's the boatloads of people that have been showing up recently.
Yeah, well, that was last year. 12 buses, all immigrants, straight off the border. You want them, you can have them. It was pretty funny until we saw the bill, $700 a night for homeless people. What are they getting, sucked off in a back alley in Brooklyn?
I mean, that's full chiropractic readjustment and mani-pedi with the proper ending. Not a happy ending, proper ending.
Proper 12, sponsor of the fight. Now we know where he gets it. But it's funny enough because then DeSantis is like, oh, we got all these immigrants and these migrants coming through Florida. Well, you know what we can do? We'll send them to the richest part of the country, Martha's Vineyard.
Which acts like its own country from what I've been looking up today. Dude,
it's got its own tax laws. It's everything. It is... what's the median? Look up median income for Martha's Vineyard. $80,000 in 2020. $89,000. Yeah.
And what it was like 23 around where we live, like much lower.
Yeah, 82,000 per year. Okay, average annual household income is 132,000. Median household income 82,857. The male population is 6,000. Or 5,700. Female population is 6,100. Statistical profiles. Oh, yeah. How many millionaires call Martha's Vineyard home? Let's see this.
And who's Martha?
I don't know.
I was assuming it was like a Martha Stewart thing.
She lived there for a while, apparently. So this says the Vineyard Gazette recently reported that an estimated 160 island residents are homeless, up from 117 in 2003. So there's only 160 homeless.
And 15,000-ish people.
11 to 15, whatever the
census from 2010. Yeah. 1,500 or 15,000. So
the fun part is the ranks of its millionaires increase to 8 up to 14% from 7 in 2010. That's 1 million averaging more than 2,900,000 a year for every 350 residents. Where the 210 per capita income was 27,000. Jesus Christ. But that's 170 homeless. We'll say it's doubled in income now, doubled in homelessness. So maybe 300 in a 10-year time. Well, DeSantis sent 50 migrants because it's an island. If you didn't know, Martha's Vineyard is a fucking island.
It's an island that, from what I saw on the map, is almost the size of like Staten Island. It's pretty big.
It's a fancy place. All the houses, everything. It looks... It's nice. Apparently, you can vacation in Martha's Vineyard for like $70,000 a week or whatever through Airbnb. But the best part was DeSantis is like, no, you know how we do it in Florida? We'll put them on a bus, an Airbus, and fly their ass in. So he sent 50 migrants.
Just 50? 50.
50. And they all got there, and people freaked the fuck out. Like freaked out because that's doubling their homeless population as of current.
Or it's a slightly under 50% boost, yeah.
So they get a shit ton of money. I'm not going to say it on it. They get the average of like $1 million a person per year to take care of homeless.
Million plus. Easy.
And they can't take care of 50 more migrant people that could help them with, work. They could help them with childcare.
There's a lot of vineyards out there. A lot of people pick stuff up.
This is like Iceland and Greenland. There's no vineyards on Martha's Vineyard.
There's at least one vineyard from what I saw.
But the point being, it's they can't take care of them, and they're freaking out. They're about to call a national emergency. Get the National Guard.
I thought they'd already called the national emergency last I checked.
I don't know, but they were
not national, but a state of emergency.
It's fucking pathetic. I don't even know what state it is. Like. Is it Rhode Island? God damn it. What is it?
Massachusetts. Dukes County.
Just another one that needs to burn.
And now they're trying to say it's a Republican meltdown. Everybody's melting down over there.
I did a short of the homeless coordinator of Martha's Vineyard. She says that they have a housing crisis. They don't have enough houses for the people that are there. No shit, you live on an island.
They kicked them out and sent them to Cape Cod because, this article says they're racist hypocrites, but regardless, they're kicking the homeless back out.
Who's racist?
The residents of Martha's Vineyard.
Oh, we all knew they were racist. It's Whiteyville.
Yeah.
You could apply if you were African American, Spanish, or Asian to live there, but if your bank account ain't high enough, get your numbers up, bitch.
Instead of giving them the care packages they give the usual homeless, they give them an Obama phone each and a $50 Visa gift card, and then shipped them out.
That's what Steinberg did. Jesus. You all get $50 a month in food vouchers. I went to a
$50 a month. What are you?
Nothing.
But there's
nothing.
your bag of rice, your bag of beans.
Dude,
survive.
I went to a Safeway last night with my kids. My wife wanted to go grocery shopping. We don't usually go grocery shopping as a family. I'll go grab one thing and come home with 10 bags like any man. It's like, okay, let me try and get everything that's needed.
Yeah.
So I'll get chicken nuggets. I'll get mixings, fixings, sauces that always go bad because we never eat them, but they look so good on the aisle, just so you know. But boy, my kids, every time they go, we do this, and I always brag about my kids, but my kids are really good when they're engaged. You know what I mean? When they're not engaged, they fight, they do all the bickering stuff. They're terrible kids.
If they're bored, they find entertainment to get into, i.e. trouble.
But if you engage them, like, okay, which one should we get? What should we do? Like my son, he's only two and a half. Okay, what pouches do you want? They're like fruit pouches. Doesn't want fruit pouches. It's like, no, daddy, this one. So he's pointing to his. So you roll him up to the wall. He's like, this, no, I want red one. So now it's not like yes, no. It's even
if you're forcing them to eat fruit, get them in on it a little bit.
So he went with strawberry applesauce out of everything. I never have seen him eat strawberry applesauce, but it looked good to him last night, and he wanted it so much so that he tried to rip it open in the cart while we were leaving, and he usually puts everything in the bag. So, but my daughter was just in a mood to where nothing would keep her busy, so she was about to get whooped, right in the middle of the aisle. But at the end of it, everything was fine. Did you know they got custard-filled Pop-Tarts now?
Custard-filled?
Dude.
I can't eat them, but those sound so good.
Custard is not dairy.
Custard usually has milk mixed into it.
Sir.
It's supposed to be an egg product. Your ergonomic keyboard is too posture efficient for me.
Because all of this is going to have some form of... No.
Cherry is the only flavor of like the typical stuff they stock that I can eat. It's the only one that are like non-dairy. S'more is my favorite. Dairy,
right here. Frosted
strawberry,
cream, Boston cream donut.
What?
Yep. Glycerin, Yankee Red 40, yellow. That's
milk and
dairy.
whey. It's from milk.
Sir, I know people with like massive IBS that can have whey but can't have.
IBS is not the same as lactose intolerant.
But basically the same.
Not even.
I'm
saying gluten-free and lactose intolerance are the same.
Demoralizing. No. What is it? What, I want to see the reviews. Enticing but disappointing. People really go on here and then write reviews? So we have reviews, not for Rings of Power this time, but for Pop-Tarts. Just so you know, this is the Boston Cream
Donut Pop-Tart.
It's the new and improved. So we bought a box of this. I haven't tried it yet, but I really want to try it heated up because I love cream-filled donuts.
Yeah.
I never get them enough. It is what it is. So 552. Enticing but disappointed. This flavor option looked great and probably raised my expectation too much so that in the end I was disappointed. Maybe too hard to compete for the sweetness of Boston cream pie, but Boston cream donut. For me, the chocolate frosting was way too far from the edge. I needed more inside. It made it too dry. I think we should read every review in the way that it's meant to sound, because that's good. So this is nothing like a Boston cream donut.
Well, then that's my kids and I were excited to try this new flavor since Boston cream donuts are our favorite. However, I was disappointed in how much we disliked the flavor. Nobody liked them. Even the 6-year-old who eats everything, they thought they were gross.
I like this. Oh, here we go. Don't waste your money. These were absolutely disgusting. I wanted to return them to the store where I purchased them, but didn't want to waste the gas to drive back to the store. I wound up throwing them into the garage. Bad, bad, bad.
You know these boxes have phone numbers on them if you're dissatisfied where you can call and you get it.
You whatever you
They'll
want.
mail you a new box of something else or a coupon voucher for like 5 free. I complained about Doritos and they sent me they're like, have a week's worth of Doritos on us. Here is 7 coupon codes for blah, 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 blah,
I know we started this channel as like business oriented, mindful, and this is where we're going. We're just kind of hanging out during business hours because we have afforded ourselves through hard work, intelligence,
a brief respite.
A respite. But also as a child, I learned that calling Mountain Dew got you so much Mountain Dew.
Send an email.
My parents were very upset when all of a sudden 2 cases of Mountain Dew Baja Blast that wasn't out in the can yet came in the can. Mm-hmm. And they thought I stole or charged something. Then a bunch of Doritos, they're all the same parent company.
If you have a favorite brand and you're looking for some free shit and you enjoy that company purely out of the goodness in your heart, send them an email, give them a phone call, let them know how much you love their brand, and you might have a t-shirt show up, coupon vouchers,
all these influencers
samples.
Getting these boxes weren't made for influencers. They were made for regular people. 500
of them minimum that they give out every month.
There's somebody employed strictly just for fucking appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Just to
customer retention and appreciation.
So this next one says, odd texture, way too much vanilla. My mom, a self-proclaimed Pop-Tart connoisseur, I can't say this, brought home this new flavor to try. These are nearly inedible. We threw out the rest of the box after trying them. The texture of the filling is almost grainy. My mom described it as gel consistency. I thought it seemed like an extremely over-reduced jam, which is odd because this is supposed to imitate custard. This recipe could be much improved if the company strived for a creamier, smoother, softer filling. It would have a mouthfeel much more similar to the actual creme in Boston creme. Also, the flavor just tasted like an overwhelming amount of artificial vanilla. Not in the pleasing boxed cake way either. It almost medicinal. We are a household that loves Pop-Tarts, but these are a firm no. I don't think I've ever written a review for Pop-Tart before, but these are just shocking to us. LOL. I had to let somebody know.
One of my favorite genre of things are these people who take stuff entirely too seriously. Like you order Taco Bell, you're getting the lowest common whatever thing, and like you get reviews of people intimately criticizing every single component of a beefy 5-layer burrito.
Your ostrich beef was dry.
The nacho cheese of the middle layer was not nearly spread out enough. It was entirely dry on one half and entirely soaked on the other. The beef, too crumbly, left under the heater for too long. Like the people who, like, everyone can have opinions on stuff, but like you get Pop-Tarts, I have Pop-Tarts. It's a Pop-Tart. It's a piece of edible cardboard with some super sweet stuff. And it's quick. It's easy. I was supposed to eat it with my apple today. I haven't eaten it yet. Snack on the way home. Snack when I'm home.
We had Togos.
We had Togos. So I skipped my healthy lunch snack for an actual lunch. But like
our carbs come strictly from Togos. I go home. I don't have many carbs.
I'm
not fat because of Oreos at midnight. I am fat because of Togos. And I love it.
How many times do you have Togos a week? Do we have Togos a week?
4 minimum.
At least.
Out of 6 days, and even Sundays, I'll go sometimes.
See, I don't go if I'm not here. I only eat Togos here.
I live a block
Sometimes
away.
I look at Togos.
Why do you think I show up at 2 a.m. with a pistol? I live a block away.
But I'll drive by Togos and I'm like, man, I can't wait to eat that tomorrow. And then I don't stop at Togos.
Yuck. These didn't even taste like Boston creme donuts. It tasted very weird, and I can say that I would never buy these again. I would stick to some of the other flavors Pop-Tarts has. Sadly, these were a big disappointment.
On the real though, s'mores Pop-Tart, single best one.
Dude, absolutely. That's why they're always in stock. Always.
Strawberry's always out because that sells the most.
Hold on. I would say Hot Fudge Sundae is right there.
That's another.
It's very limited.
S'mores and Hot Fudge are my two favorite freezer Pop-Tarts.
Absolutely. You throw them in there, they're good for 6 months. I understand they're amazing to a lot of people. This one says, too sweet, not enough filling. I purchased these for my family and myself. I love Boston creme pies, and I thought they would be really good. But no one in my family liked them. They were so oversweet, and there were hardly any filling at all. With the filling being so very paper thin, it makes the rest of the Pop-Tart very dry. The chocolate on top was very thin and dry. Of all the flavors of Pop-Tarts that we love, this one is not one of them, and I will not purchase again.
I don't think I've ever had a Boston cream pie, like a cake, donut, whatever. I can't, even back when I was on dairy, back before lactose intolerance.
Did you try the donuts I brought?
I don't. I eat the plain glazes.
I understand.
I can only eat the plain
custard in that. That's a Boston cream pie.
That's all it is?
That's all.
And then chocolate on top or whatever? Okay.
Another yucky. So excited after I went down after the first bite. Me and my 5-year-old daughter tried this together. The flavor's not good enough. The chocolate is bleh. The inside creme, see, he actually spelt it, is disgusting. Doesn't taste anywhere close to the Boston creme pie. Just tasted like bad vanilla and tons of sugar. Won't get these again, ever. Maybe stop adding so much sugar to your Pop-Tarts. No artificial sugars. Just less sugar would be best. His entire review could be bolstered down.
He was also
too much sugar.
He was paid to make this review. And received an incentive. That's a new law. I don't know if you've noticed that. You need to disclose sponsored advertisements and incentivize. You have to.
I understand.
Banned forever if you don't.
Not even just banned, it's FCC requires it.
Yeah.
But even like the likes of Jake Paul, who own companies they talk about.
Jake Paul's scummy though. They don't.
But I'm just saying they're big and they get fucking fines. They still don't go after them. Like there's a lot of shit and they're never going to go after the back door.
They're never going to get
So does that mean they got incentivized by getting, so every time they got
there was a coupon voucher or a gift card. There was something where they paid half of these people to do these reviews.
Yeah.
With the large number of it's too sweet, it tastes like gross vanilla.
4.7 and a majority. Yeah, see what I mean?
Most people love this flavor.
View Smart Label. So let's see if this has got dairy.
How much sugar we got? A lot.
Where's the allergies? Milk. It contains milk, sir. Yeah. Your favorite.
Yeah, and I'm sad I haven't had one in like 6 years.
Which one's that?
Which one's it? It's the cherry. Look them up. No dairy. If it's got dairy in it, I need to throw up.
What's Pop-Tart's story?
The whole frost and truth.
New Pop-Tarts look like bagel bites.
Those are original Pop-Tarts. 1963.
Jesus.
They used to never be frosted and they were meant to snap in half, be shared or whatever.
1965 is when they fucked up.
That's when they started frosting them and being crazy. 1968, that's when they became the best, apparently.
With the drizzle?
The drizzle, the better frosting.
Yeah.
And you can always see where it's just a paintbrush of frosting that goes across them all because you can see it's thick on one side and then ends.
I think it's rollers or whatever.
It's a roller, a brush. It's
2004
something like that.
Is when I saw the Pop-Tart Eat the Girl Pop-Tart. No sexism. I keep seeing all these
tiny tarts. You mean Fig Newtons?
So I keep seeing all these Sneeko and basically YouTube alpha men talking about how the Matrix and Andrew Tate and the supporters and stuff, and Sneeko being one of like the most watched YouTube gamers, but he really does like a podcast in 1 minute. He talks to all the females. Like I keep seeing these clips of women out on like the Vegas Strip or out in the city doing these things where they're like, okay, man or a woman, who's more valuable, right? And it's always the woman. or he does these clips where a woman says that she's a 10 out of 10, but having room for improvement is like attractive.
Who the heck is Sneeko? I never even heard of this guy before.
Let me show you one of his clips.
Yeah, I'm looking him up right now, and I'm like, what in the...
No way, this just happened. Let me see the keyboard. All right, breaking news. The school is defending a teacher's right to wear giant fake breasts, a male teacher. No fucking way.
Are they a shop teacher?
I don't care either way. Dude, no. Huge prosthetic breasts to class sparks backlash, rightfully so. Teacher in Canada wore large prosthetic breasts under tight clothing to class. Pictures circulating on the social media showed sparking controversy. The manufacturing technology teacher at Oakville, I don't give a shit, High, Ontario, Canada, identified as Kayla, was filmed and photographed wearing an unnaturally large prosthetic which stretched out her clothing and stood out prominently. Began transitioning from male to female last year, according to online news and Redux. Before transitioning, was known to students as Stephen Hannah. Photos and videos taken of her students, seemingly without her knowledge, went viral on social media. There were widespread speculation about whether the images were real or fake, and many believed it could have been with an elaborate hoax or comedy sketch. In response, the high school raised an email statement to its students, parents, and on Monday defending their employee and explaining why they chose to support gender expression. We are aware of the discussion on social media and in the media regarding Oakville. We would like to take this opportunity to reiterate to our community that we are committed to establishing and maintaining a caring, inclusive, and equitable and welcoming learning and working environment for all students and staff, the email stated. And. The high school said that any concerns about blank would be akin to discrimination, according to Rito. We strive to promote a positive learning environment in the schools consistent with the values of HDSB and ensure the safe and inclusive environment for all students, staff, and the community, regardless of race, age, ability, sex, gender identity, gender expression, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, cultural observance, social, economic circumstance, or body type and size. Holy fuck, that's a mouthful. The news was met with overwhelming backlash online, with people noting that blank appearance was not appropriate for an educational environment. God, no, it isn't. Many took to Twitter to draw attention to the matter and get to the attention of Ontario's Minister of Education and Premier of the Canadian province, Doug Ford.
What if this was a cis woman with absolutely gigantic knockers? Would that be a problem?
Yeah.
That's discrimination.
How is that discrimination? I would say that they are not fit with that to do woodshop. Also,
they've been doing it this long to be a teacher.
Find me one that has tits that size doing woodshop anywhere. One, and I'll shut my mouth. Because do some research. And I'll give you that would be painful to a real woman. Absolutely. Hugely painful. My wife has
to a woman. Can't say real woman.
Any woman that has real breasts. Fair? Because fake, I will say fake breasts do not carry the same weight. I know this because my wife has fake breasts, paid in full. They do not carry the same weight. They can be uncomfortable, yes. At times very comfortable for me. But still, it's one of those things that they carry themselves differently, almost like bags. They have weight at the bottom, they yank, they stretch, differently. When they're artificial, it's just a weight that's in a bag, but is carried by the mass or the center of mass of its own object, instead of the center of mass, you being your own object. That would cause massive back pain, massive shoulder pain, especially if there was a bra that held those up. So
it's likely one of those giant silicone suits that holds it all together.
Absolutely. They're a woodshop teacher. They're obviously creative. I understand the message this person's probably trying. I don't believe this for one bit is a real transition. There's no way.
As soon as they say transgender, you can't touch it.
Why can't I touch it?
Then you're devaluing them. If this is genuine, you can't have that. That'd be such a huge lawsuit.
It would be my opinion that this
you can't have an opinion on someone else's gender identity.
It is my personal opinion that this is too good to be true. This is too much content.
Can you prove it, though?
I can't. That's why it's an opinion. Like assholes, they're for everyone.
Yeah.
I think, personally, that this would be a great opportunity to point out some of the fallacies in the, well, you can't do anything because it's their way. Why doesn't this person get a seating position? Put the giant tits on a desk and alleviate some of that shoulder pain.
That's their choice if they want to do that or not.
So if that person wants to be, let's say, a shot put Olympic medalist, but they will cause themselves severe physical harm.
That is their right. They want to have the biggest titties on the planet.
But that's
Power to you,
problem,
girl.
because you're going to cause yourself severe harm, right? You've got to do it without causing yourself bodily injury. Some of these people getting nose jobs and then their face collapse. That's your end, right? You can't continue because then you're causing yourself severe.
That's on them, though. It doesn't really hurt anyone but themselves in the end.
Then they get banned from all. There's a where they're like, no, we won't work on you anymore. They won't. They get blacklisted.
Then they got to find new doctors, new places. That's kind of on them.
Well, so as the Ontario Minister of Education, it is your duty to protect Ontario students from being exposed to this teacher's vulgar sexual fetish. This man must be removed from the classroom and steps must be taken to prevent this from ever happening again.
Tweet is inherently transphobic.
Yeah, why is it automatically assumed to be sexual?
Like, those are some huge fucking titties. That's why I laughed. God damn.
Oh, yeah.
But
some women just really want bigger breasts, but not for a sexual nature. My wife absolutely did not like the look of her breasts post-baby.
She got new ones. Boom,
yeah,
done.
Boom.
Power to her.
Empowered her, made her feel better about herself. Not as she's already a sexual creature, but not like, oh, I need to go out and hop on dick. No, it wasn't that at all.
You had no problem with their boobs. She wanted the
She just wanted the mommy makeover because we had the money and it was available. She took care of herself and it wasn't a sexual nature. So I didn't assume this was a sexual nature or like a deviant thing. I think he's trying, or they are trying to make. She is trying to make a statement, a clear statement, because there is no person in their right mind that would assume that is, unless it is a sexual fetish, then it's a problem.
If it's a sexual fetish, that's an issue. But because
they
they're
would
saying
definitely
transgender,
be more than just putting the tits on. They would be like, "Oh, do you like this?" Or they'd get attention from it, and something would arise. Something even taped down would arise.
An issue will pop up if this is a weird sexual fetish. If they're transgender and want the biggest boobs on the planet, no problem's ever going to arise. Whatever.
But here's the thing. You would not be an active person with that type of body. You know what I mean?
There's going to be issues, but that's her problem. Yeah, that's not anyone else's. If this was a lady with absolutely huge, giant
there would be
breasts,
a lot
I don't know if they,
So it says...
It'd be worse if it was a lady.
So it says schools usually have a dress code for students. Wonder what would happen if the student showed up in a school dressed
scroll
in
back
this
up
manner.
to the picture.
Another Twitter user wrote.
Can you scroll back up? Fully clothed. If a student, we're going to say a student has, if a student was like this, fully clothed.
4 fingers. You know what the 4-finger method is?
For what?
4 fingers above the kneecap.
Yeah. What does it have to do with boobs?
That's a little higher.
You want to contest the skirt? Yep. Fine. That's more than 4 fingers. That's what.
I don't care if somebody wants to wear melons in their stomach. Like, that's your choice. Mm-hmm. Also, where's the safety gear? I can't see any glasses. I don't see any gloves.
Hair's all over her face.
Yeah, you're operating a chop saw. Woman or man, that's stupid. I don't care what your gender is. That's
could have their goggles on. Can't tell.
Well, goggles aren't the concern. Those tits are going to be in the way of a field of view.
That's why they're leaning so far back, though.
But that's also against how you use that workbench. So there is a MDOS, or what is it? Not MDOS. Material Safety Data Sheet, MSDS. Mm-hmm. That's how you use or treat any chemical, hardware, equipment, etc. And it has to be posted, even in Canada, for every piece in that workshop. Mm-hmm. So they should have full knowledge of that machine and how it needs to be operated. Where's the gloves? Where's the eyewear? Is that posted up, or is there somebody holding it? Is it... how long are the nails? Are they within proper operating of the machinery?
Then you're getting real concerns aside from a tire and
but
breast size.
All of it. I don't know how they're treating themselves, let alone treating the concern of the equipment. So, like, if you're going to go in,
if they can't follow the MSDS, that's a separate issue aside from attire and appearance.
But it also leads you into, like, how much are they going to concern themselves with the details?
They need to. MSDS, as per federal requirement for the school, from the school district, for the state, from the government, whatever it is, it still has to be followed.
I can't even have a fucking paint can out with this without assuming a 12-year-old's going to run in here and go, oh, and red.
Chug it, yeah. If that's all being followed, cool. No issue.
I think we were looking up Sneeko before this, and then I just saw that.
Yeah, we saw Sneeko.
So here's the real picture of this person. Yeah. Tell me that's not funny, right?
That's got to be doctored.
No, that's the real photo.
What's this? What's the school?
God, the shit he finds is like so crazy because he picks out the most cringy, and I will say a lot of the times they are, in quotes, trans people. You know, he finds the most on the border doing it for clout or attention people, and then causes a scene. So yeah, I understand that he's very Bible thumper, transphobic. No, it's not doctored. Holy shit, there's a lot of photos.
There's
holy shit. There's after this has got to be a joke.
Not pictured here. Giant nips.
Hugest
I've ever seen.
This has to be a prank.
There's no way we can say if it is or isn't.
There's no way this is not a prank. You're going to tell me prosthetic tits this big, you're not going to put on fucking a brassiere. And I know that chick who goes, wow. You know, from Two Girls, One, not Two Girls, One Cup, but Two Girls, One, Two Girls and a Pizza Parlor, Two Girls.
Two Broke Girls?
Two Broke Girls, yeah. The one is like, nah.
She also has...
That chick has the most gigantic Sydney something. My grandmother used to be like, Jesus, you know, I had tits that big before she had breast cancer. God, man, it was on screen. That woman, you know, they add 15 pounds and they added them to her tits. And it was one of those things where you're like, man, I can never help but think, what the fuck is she taping those down with? Duct tape? It's got to be duct tape.
A lot of tape.
Flex tape.
Body tape?
Yeah, body tape, flex tape. It's got to be super glue and something. There's a brassiere built out of oak under that dress.
It's a solid steel frame.
Solid steel. You know what I mean? You've seen the wire racks for the old 1600s?
Yeah.
No, it was a wire frame, chicken coop, cast with concrete and then an oak lining, and it's buoyant like a boat. Throw that bitch on the water. I'm telling you. It's one of those things where you're like, damn, this is above and beyond. What is this serving? Imagine, put yourself in their shoes.
This helps her fit into her self-image.
What image?
As the biggest city having woodshop teacher in all of Canada.
So hypothetically, if it's not a gender issue. Right?
If it's not a gender issue, then this is weird.
Hold on. If it's not a gender issue on my end, right? And I'm like, I'm confident I'm a man, but I just want people to see a massive, massive cock. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw a $65, Long Island sausage down my leg. I will wrap it around my left leg and then, make it look like a penis. Just shave a little bit off the head and then just wear the tightest jeans around it and be like, you like the snake? What is the difference?
I mean, genitals are different from titties.
Okay. So then what if I put, hypothetically, nipple, what do they call those things? The blades, like the little airplane blades that put on the outside of my shirt? Tassels. What if I put tassels
on them?
On the outside of a really tight shirt that's somewhat see-through?
I don't think you're allowed to put tassels on the outside of your shirt.
Why not? It makes
dress
me
code.
Feel like me. How is that not dress code? You've seen the other photos. We've already shown the other photos.
You're already trying to split it between gender identity and non-gender identity.
But we're saying if gender's if they are a woman, absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
At what point does it become just being obscene? So imagine this was a woman. How is that
Then you have
obscene?
to compare it to anyone who biologically is like that from default, and you can't have an issue with it because of their biology.
If it was a normal woman, I'd have an issue with that.
Cis woman. Normal woman is like trying to drive a divide.
If it was your average everyday woman.
Cis woman.
Still?
If you say average everyday woman, you're still drawing a line between transgendered women and women.
Like, hey, grab a rope and pull these people. For some reason, we always get in this topic. But my point being, I don't give a shit what's between their legs. That would be a problem. Once I saw the other, this didn't look so bad.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen the nipples.
Huge fucking nips. Dude, hugest.
That's a problem, right?
Yeah.
You can't be wearing that in front of kids and just like everyone, you're going to look like a joke to the average person anyway. And even if your goal is to normalize that, at what point are you going to be seared into the minds of young children like you are some average, everyday, normal thing? So when they see some creeper that's dressed up like that, they're going to be like, oh, my teacher once did that. And then they're going to die because that is not normal.
But then you still got to teach your kids about stranger danger.
Oh, I understand that. But now they're normalized to it. Because at any point, stranger danger can be normalized by over somebody acting normal and what you've taught them and caring and feely and like, oh, everything's great and friendly. And they can be a friend of the family even. And then just over time, they work their way to being that predator. Not everyone is a predator out the gate. Some people are just sadistic and they plan it years ahead.
That's called grooming.
Yeah, it's horrible. All right, let me get back to Sneeko. So this is Sneeko. He is one of your Andrew Tate type wannabes, even though he really isn't an Andrew Tate like. I'll probably get a copyright. I don't give a shit. But basically, this is what he does. I want to see his shorts. No, where is it?
Do videos in most popular if he's got the option. Show me his best most him video. Would you say the N-word for $1?
Yeah, but see, these are real old.
Yeah.
The most.
He hasn't put out any content that's been good lately.
Oh, he has.
He was pulling mills, and now he's getting
there's a whole other because he streams, right?
Sneeko Shorts, a whole channel for shorts.
Exactly the definition of a relationship between a man and a woman is a man giving everything while this bitch gives nothing but la la land nonsense. And she thinks she's perfect. Exactly the definition of
So he's one of the misogynists.
Yeah, he is a bit of a misogynist.
Somebody's hurt him.
He's a musician.
No.
To get people like this, you have to have been hurt in the past.
So
you have to have been
there is this whole.
How would a guy know if a woman is flirting with him or teasing him?
I feel like you know.
You make no sense. She won't tell you.
So there's this whole thing. He guesses these clips by these people while streaming before they do. And he gets all this shit like on the dime what they're going to guess because he knows your average 2-bit woman walking down Las Vegas Boulevard. And I say 2-bit because the ones that they interview are 2-bit as hell. Like,
I mean, you could also interview 100 women, find 14 bad ones, put those up front, and say this is all women.
No. It's a whole like 6-hour compilation, stream.
But also, if you're catching girls going down the strip in Vegas, you're going to get a lot different than anywhere
there's
else.
This whole thing, right? And I'll try and get my words together. Basically, your modern day 19 to 25-year-old cis woman is looking for a man that can provide and give her things and has value, is the wallet in the relationship. Yeah.
I don't meet many girls who are looking for shit. You want someone who could stick around and be dependable.
You're also not looking in the places that your average male, cis male, is looking. Bars, clubs, Tinder, stuff like that. This is one of those things where they go down the boulevards, where all the bars, the parties, all that stuff, and they're all like, yeah, we're a 10 out of 10. He's a 6, he's a 5. No man is a 10 unless they are millionaire, billionaire, and got their shit together, already married, whatever. It's crazy the way that it's so hilarious because I feel the same where your average cis woman, for some reason, wants everything set up for them, but nothing, doesn't want to work for it. Like my wife had a daughter, right? When I got into the relationship, I stepped up. It wasn't like a thought because I came from a family like that. But your average, you know, these chicks that you see online nowadays, or even the girls on Instagram I see, and I'm just like, you really got to be from a different breed to think some of the shit you post online is okay about men. Because most are like, they're all either broke, trying to get with me, you know, just for this, that, and the other, so I can make them feel good for one night, and then they're going to leave anyway. They ain't getting this for 6 months to a year. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a high value woman. And I'm just thinking to myself, a man's going to know in 3 to 5 months if you're going to be the forever one. And if he doesn't, you're not the forever one, unfortunately. Like, he will know. Males are quick to know if there is a good feeling. You know what I mean? Would you say it would take you years to know if somebody was the one?
If it's taking that long to make your mind up, then
there's
not
a problem.
Happening.
Exactly. Like, we can make as many excuses as we want, but he's firm on that. Most of these girls are mind triggered or conditioned.
But he's also, if he's doing the strip, he's finding girls who are there to party,
he's
there to do
stuff. This is somebody else's main job that posts these clips.
Whoever found these clips, wherever he's getting the clips from, they're
posted. What is it? It's complicated. Let's see if that's a thing.
Acquire sex.
It is much easier for a woman to acquire sex.
Why is that?
Because we choose. We choose whether or not we have the option of whether or not we're gonna let a man have sex or not.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
This is New Nevada.
Don't women typically consent to sex?
Consent goes both ways.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. What's the longest that a man's ever made you wait for sex?
You know, it's happened. I don't know.
But does that typically happen?
Maybe. No, it doesn't typically happen.
Okay, so isn't it fair to say that women generally control access to sex more than men do?
If a woman wants sex, she can get it. If a man wants sex, doesn't mean he can necessarily get it.
Okay, so is it safe to say that women typically control access to sex more than men do? Because it's easier for a woman to get sex than it is for a man?
So this channel is basically like when they go up in the rallies and the political shit, and they ask the tough questions. And I find it so amusing, but he reacts to this and guesses what they're going to say. And it's like fucking spitting. And not because of this channel, but in some of the things where it's really made me think, like, modern day dating is a fucking minefield. Is a minefield. Cis women can play games like you wouldn't believe. And a majority of them that are in the dating scene feel like you got to either provide something instead of your time and company. They don't want to be loved. They don't want to be treated like they're of value in a relationship. They wanted to be treated like they're of value as a trophy on display. Most of these, like 19 to 25-year-olds.
These are still typically party girls out there just trying to have a fun time, trying to get the biggest catch they can.
Girls. Like, that's what we label it as. But I don't think it's party girls. I think it's the modern mentality of these young women are getting programmed. You know what I mean? Like, where's the girl that wants to be a mother of 3, providing a life to 3, who will provide a life to 9.
She's out there trying to have a career now.
27.
We're shifting away from the traditional nuclear family and the stay-at-home mom.
But there's so many people who chose in the 70s and 80s that are coming out now saying, you know, I wasted the last 30 years of my life going for a career when I could have went for a family.
And there's a lot of women who wasted their lives on families wishing they had a career. Bad choices
be gone bad choices. But I think it's crazy that even the your most bad ones, you know what I mean? The ones that have the 3 inches of makeup, you would know that they were cis or non-cis. You know, I don't know how to word that. The ones that look like a 10 out of 10. It's just like, damn, they open their mouth and on some of these things and you're like, I really don't know why I ever was in the dating scene. It's crazy. It's truly crazy. But Sneeko is really funny. He supports the whole like anti-matrix, anti-establishment bullshit. So he does a lot of the reactions to Andrew Tate cancelings. But boy, some of this shit is hilarious.
She's gonna she'll take advantage of the situation. I feel like you should know. She won't tell you. You gotta figure it out for yourself. You cannot listen to their advice on relationships. You just gotta figure it out. I feel like they know. Just do it yourself. Bob and weave, address the situation, be better than her.
How would a guy know if a woman is flirting with him or teasing him?
I feel like you.
Exactly the definition of a relationship between a man and a woman. I hate when people say that shit because there shouldn't be consequences for a joke. The intention is to make you laugh. Like people were defending Will Smith. Well, Chris Rock should have never talked about his wife. Shut the fuck up. He's on stage telling jokes. It's not all about you. You should be more mature and know that the intention was to make you laugh, not to hurt your fucking fragile feelings. I hate when people.
It's really eye-opening to see how many people would just defend the Matrix, like adamantly just like, no, this is, instead of trying to improve their life. And it's just very clear. And you also get to categorize all of your haters into categories, like the people that hate nerds, fat, or just triggered feminists. It's really eye-opening to see how many people would just defend the Matrix, like adamantly just
fresh and fit stuff like that. But he seems like he's got his shit going on right now. I guess he got canceled by Ethan Klein and a bunch of people, but Ethan Klein is one of those like woke yet wannabe very racist liberals, where he was like super like for the people before and got a bunch of money to fight that lawsuit. You saw H3H3, and now he's talking about the guy who went to the most racist town in America and was calling him a bunch of words and saying he was stupid for doing what he was doing. I'm like, just let the guy live his fucking life. Why you always got to be talking about what other people are successes are and then talk down about them? There was a guy, Gideon, who's an African-American and really got some backlash there. So, but Andrew Tate did some 4-hour interview. It was pretty funny with one of the guys in the UK. I did not watch it all. I fell asleep. Oh, what was that thing we were talking about earlier? That clip. The overweight lady.
Oh, the fat phobic TikTok lady.
I thought I saved this.
Fat phobia, not fat phobic. She herself is not fat phobic, I hope. That's the in-law? Yeah.
In-law.
That's like a classic looking one.
That's my father-in-law. He really bought a motorcycle. And see me, I'm just looking at her backside. The motorcycle.
That's her in-law.
I'm looking at the motorcycle's backside. Get that even.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
She thick.
Yeah, I got to ride it. It was fun though. My wife
I heard you got in trouble for that?
Oh yeah, my wife was pissed. Sorry, babe. She was furious, like steaming. My wife does not want me to buy or ride a motorcycle. One of her in-laws died. One of her in-laws died on a motorcycle.
I had a friend who hit a horse and died.
But I found out, well, not a horse. He was living here.
I had a friend who hit a horse and died on his motorcycle.
On a very thin piece of, what? How do you hit a horse?
Orangeville. A horse got free, ran across the street, clotheslined him. Horses go fast, man. Fast.
I understand that, but then you're also on what I'm assuming is a 600 or greater powered engine. Swerve, cut, weave. Was it new? Was the person new on the ride? What type of bike was it? A dirt bike?
Like a motorcycle looking motorcycle.
So normal bagger type. I would assume that they would have a little bit of experience to slow the fuck down a horse.
Not saying they're not at fault, but
her grandfather or uncle
happen.
lost his foot riding and then died from something else. But everyone says they died from motorcycles. I'd happily give a foot to own another motorcycle, especially with children. There's just something in my mind from when I was growing up where like the cool guy on the block had the motorcycle, the one who lived the best life, had the spare income. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I just want my kids to ride or have that feeling. There's nothing more freeing than riding with a low cut motorcycle helmet at like 20 miles an hour and feeling that wind. You know what I mean?
Motorcycles are scary. I'd never ride one.
Really? See, I don't pertain to the whole like never let a man ride the back of your motorcycle. If I have one, I'll let you ride. You can grip onto me. It's totally fine. I had when I first bought my 750 Shadow, I had a buddy who would ride on the back And I'd take him, Mike, we were just talking about, to and from Denios to home on, I think he lived on Antelope. And man, we broke down once. Couldn't get the ignition, wouldn't fire. So I stalled it, and then the button wouldn't work. So it wasn't firing. And I was like, oh shit. So I had to break it down in the middle of Greenback Avenue right before 80. Couldn't push it off the road. Clutch is stuck. Sitting there wiring up my ignition. So funny for like an hour and a half sitting in the middle of the road. But once you do it for the first time, you're like, oh shit, that's exhilarating. There's freeing even. It's almost. I
had a friend who had one of those crazy loud cars. They're always revving the engines. Girls love them, like that kind of stereotype.
Racers.
He had like a streetcar racer kind of type. Yeah. And I remember he was like, oh, let's go grab lunch. He was my coworker at Fry's. He worked front checkout. I worked the sales floor. We hop in his car and he does his crazy driving, powerful motor, and I'm like, I get why girls sleep with you. And he just fucking laughed for like a half hour. I was like,
I don't know. There's something about having something powerful like that. It's weird.
I was like, I get it,
dude. It's an awkward time nowadays to be living, where you could send somebody on a plane. Oh, and DeSantis isn't out of the clear because they're thinking about getting him for kidnapping on that 50 migrants.
Yeah.
Apparently somebody didn't sign right on that.
They didn't read the paperwork because they can't read English.
I understand. My hat's off to you, DeSantis. It was a good attempt. But the world is just ever changing in its bullshit to make people go, what the fuck? Like, what in the fuck is going on? Whether you like it or you dislike it, you got to live in it. So find common ground on something. All this bullshit is insane. More so than it was 2 years ago. More so than it was 5, 10, 15 years ago. We're at like some sort of breaking point with the insanity on social media, on internet.
The speed at which news can spread now too.
It's so crazy. If we turn the internet off for 5 days,
the world would die.
I wonder how much recession we would go through in the drama. Or if we turned it back on and then it would be a flood of drama. Like everyone back to the masses immediately. Because I think we'd probably lose a bunch of the ones that are behind the scenes, controlling the news, the media, all the bullshit. And they would kind of die off.
They'd have a secret second internet that they would have fired up, though.
CB radios, ham 2.0. God, I couldn't imagine. Hit the bell. Mm-hmm. What is it? Mm-hmm. Right there.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Yep. Share with the grandma. We're always bringing it up. Grandmas love us. Don't know why.
We'll see you next time.
Life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past, but knowing me, my DeLorean will probably crash.